Hey, Espresso lovers, Mark here from Whole Latte Love. You know, got a little issue here. Maybe you got a little issue with a single boiler machine like a Bezzera Hobby here. We're gonna show you how to fix that really quick. You know, maybe 30 seconds to get you back in making espresso. The symptom of this issue, your machine is not creating hot water. That's gonna be because a high limit switch has tripped. We're gonna show you the standard things you need to do so that that will not happen. Of course, we're gonna show you how to fix it. But first, real quick, let's talk about how a machine like this operates. So mine is on right now. It's up to brew temperature as indicated by the green light here. If I want to do some steaming, I'm going to push the steam switch. And this is going to be true like on any single boiler machine with an actual boiler. So like a Gaggia Classic, a Rancilio Silvia, ECM Casa, that sort of machine. I'm going to show you how to fix it on this machine, but the procedure is going to be probably really similar on any other machine. So mine's coming up to steam temperature. So what are some of the standard things you need to do when you're going to steam milk? First, you got to get it up to steam temperature, but when you're done steaming, you want to turn that switch off. Now, I'm going to show you also how to cool down a boiler and refill it. That's very, very important. You do that every time after you steam. So when my machine gets up to steam temperature, full steam temperature, that green light's going to come back on. I'm going to start simulating some steaming now. I'm not actually frothing milk, but you can do this on machines. You can start steaming before they actually indicate. So I'm steaming my milk, everything's great. Steaming, steaming, steaming. And okay, my milk's all frothed. It's lovely, it's beautiful, it's delicious. I'm gonna turn that off. The very first thing I wanna do is turn off that steam switch. If you leave this thing on all the time, you might trip that high limit. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take another cup like this, put that under, and we are gonna refill and cool down the boiler. So I'm gonna open that steam knob back up, then turn on the pump. This is gonna push water into the boiler, refill it, take up some of the space of the water that left before it. We're gonna let that run until we get a solid stream of water coming out. Then our boiler will be fully cooled down, and that's good. And on this machine, I can just shut it off right here. You can leave that pump running, it's fine. Now turn that pump off. Now, if you're like on a Gaggia Classic, you won't have the pump switch. You just use the brew switch, open the steam valve, let it run until you get a solid stream of water. So now my boiler is cooled back down. So let's say the problem, right, that we talked about up front was your machine is not making hot water. It seems to function maybe perfectly fine otherwise, but the water coming out when you go to make an espresso is not hot. So here's how you do that really easy. First thing I'm going to do, turn off my machine and unplug it from power, safety first. On this machine, all we need is a 2.5 millimeter Allen head wrench, just 2 screws up here. I'm going to take those out. What we're going to do is go in there and reset that high limit switch. It's like a circuit breaker, except activated by temperature instead of like electricity, like overdrawing electricity in your home when a circuit breaker pops. So we'll get rid of those 2 screws, take the top off, and you'll find these high limits in a lot of machines. So it's way down in here. Maybe a little hard to see. Hopefully we're getting in there close enough, but it's got a little red top on here. It's like a circuit breaker. To reset it, all you're gonna do is push down on that. And that's it. Now, I'm not gonna put my machine all back together. You should. I'm gonna turn mine back on. I kinda know what I'm doing here, so I'm not gonna get electrocuted. So I'm gonna plug it back in and turn it back on. Now, what you wanna do, make sure you have a full reservoir. When you turn your machine back on for the first time, open that valve up, turn the pump on, and make sure your boiler is full. And you know it's full if you're getting a solid stream of water out of that wand. Once you get in that, close that valve, turn the pump off, and you should be good to go. So let it heat up. You're gonna wait for this light to come back on, or whichever light you have on your machine. When it indicates that it's ready to brew, then you're gonna check, like I'll check mine right here. Just run this and make sure that your water's heating. Careful, it could be really hot. Again, I know what I'm doing. I might not want to stick your finger in there, but my water's hot, my machine is heating. We've reset that high limit. So again, the things you must do when you're using a single boiler for steaming, when you're done steaming, make sure your steam switch is off. You know, if you leave this on overnight or leave it on for hours at a time, there's a chance that you trip that high limit switch. Also, be sure and refill the boiler. So that's just opening the steam valve, running the pump until you get a solid stream of water out of the wand. And that's all there is to it. Very simple, quick, easy fix. Again, this is on a Bezzera Hobby. It's going to be very similar procedure. Those standard procedures for milk frothing, they're going to be exactly the same on any other single boiler machine. And on other machines, you'll also find high limit resets like that as well. If you have any questions or you go through this procedure, try this first. But if you go through this procedure and your machine is still not heating, check down in the description and you can contact us and be more than happy to help you out through chat, email, or you can even give us a call. I'm Mark from Whole Latte Love. Hope that helped you out. And we'll see you back here soon for more of the best on everything coffee, brought to you, of course, by Whole Latte Love.